Local. This is First Alert Weather Extra.
Hey, welcome to First Alert Weather Extra, our 7 p.m. show each weeknight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mark Nelson. We have a busy weather day. It is a First Alert Weather Day. Peyton, Major, how are you?
Doing good. How are you, Mark?
Pretty good. And is it okay? Can we share your personal information, what you did today?
Yeah, you know, I was on the East Coast this morning, and I'm here now. So here we are. You know, I may be dozing off during the 11, but I am awake right now.
You're young, you're fine. Just because you got up at 2 a.m. our time, you'll be fine at 11:30 p.m. this evening, West Coast time.
It's all good. If you saw me at the airport, no, you didn't. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I was a little rough looking. Okay.
All right, so Peyton, I'm going to jump into the weather here. Then we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to take a deep dive onto those river levels because we know a lot of you live near the rivers. Yeah. And well, maybe if I don't stand in front of it, we'd know. So updated river levels. So we have some updates this evening. One river was raised from minor to moderate flooding. Much drier Wednesday. That's a change. We were going to do call it a first alert weather day for tomorrow because we figured, one, there'd be a lot more flooding issues right now compared to what we're actually seeing, not to minimize some flooding that some of you have. But the other was, we were thinking this atmospheric river would be still hanging right over us on Wednesday. That is not the case. It's going north. Peyton will cover more of that in a few minutes. So tomorrow's looking totally uneventful. No first alert weather day. All right, and then the weekend outlook, because now we're into what would that be, the second weekend before Christmas, heading towards mid-December. Okay, it looks wet out there. Notice our temperature's been in the 40s all day. That was so well forecast by models. We got a light easterly breeze. The warm south wind is coming back the next few hours, and temperatures will skyrocket. All right, so here's the radar. This does not look like last night at this time. If you remember last night, solid, actually all day yesterday, solid green, lots of areas of intense yellow. We're not seeing that. In fact, the last 2 hours, the scattered shower, we're just getting showers off and on. We're back to normal stuff, folks. That's another reason we've dropped the first alert day for tomorrow. So rain so far today, holy cows, up close to 2 inches at Salem and Tillamook. That was after a lot yesterday at Tillamook, and at 1.57 in Portland. But most of that was around sunrise and before. A lot of us just slept through it. Far less at Eugene. We knew it would be much drier across southern Oregon. Nothing at Madras or Redmond today. The Cascade are an effective block of that rain. So if you look at just the metro area, yeah, the rain was to the south today, metro area down to Salem. Aurora, you've picked up 2 inches, 1.5 or so in Portland, but only 3/4 in Kelso. That's good because you folks up there in Cowlitz County and then across the river into Columbia County got a chance to see your creeks come down a little bit before you have more rain coming up as we go through the overnight hours. But I think most important, the last 6 hours, this is like just regular light rain, 0.05 of an inch in 6 hours. That means it's just barely been wet. Hillsborough, Scappoose, Kelso, a tenth in Vancouver, 0.16 of an inch in 6 hours. That's just enough, you know, to keep the roads wet. So it's been very light here since midday today, and that has given the creeks a chance to go down, the water a chance to go away a bit. If you just take the 2 days, and I don't see much more than this coming up, about 3 inches in Portland. A lot of us getting close to 3 inches, some less. We were thinking, remember 2 days ago, today is Tuesday, so on Sunday we were thinking, could there be 5 inches of rain? Possibly. Instead it's going to be like 3 or 3 1/4, and that has helped us avoid any major flooding. But the big wet spots right where we expected. Swift Creek, that's a known wet spot on the southwest slopes of Mount St. Helens. About 1 foot of rain. Ariel, about 9 inches of rain. This is up by Yale Lake area, in right on the edge of Cowlitz and Clark counties. Jewel, that's where all the elk like to hang out, the elk refuge there, east of Seaside, about 8 inches of rain. Mount Hood Meadows, 7 inches of rain. These are actually totals. It says early Sunday. It's actually late Saturday evening. But the point is almost all this has been rain. There's really not much of any snow left up there now. And this is south of Dodson, where we have seen big slides in the past to the east of Multnomah Falls, Ainsworth State Park area. So this is up on the hill behind. This is up at 4,000 feet, about 10 inches of rain there. So yeah, the mountains, it has delivered up there big time. And if you're wondering how does this compare, so far today, calendar day, 1.55 inches. I believe that might be a record for today as well, just for the date. But our wettest days are typically 2.5 to 3 inches of rain in one day. If you take 2 days, the wettest period was, we had almost 5 inches in late October of 1994. Peyton, am I getting old that I remember all of these except one?
Nah.
Yeah, she's just being nice. She's so nice. Anyway, those are the top 5 wettest days. I bet you, I don't have the numbers, but I bet if you took like Miami or Minneapolis or St. Louis or Washington, D.C., the wettest days, I bet it's a lot higher than 2.5 inches of rain in one day. I don't know the actual numbers, but because they get more intense rainfall there for shorter periods. All right, I want to point this out. All right, high temperature, low temperature, the last 30 days typically gradually goes downhill through November and into early December. But look at these last 1, 2, 3, 4, last 5 days. we've barely made it down to, or have not even made it down to our typical high temperatures. So we're running, this should be down here. So we're running like 10 degrees above average. And this is going to continue, we think, through the foreseeable future. Real warm stuff. Okay, we're going to get into a river deep dive in just a second, but I do want to point out we still have a bunch of rivers with flood warnings along the coast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so let's, here's my main message here. Most of these rivers will be below flood stage by sunrise tomorrow because we do not have significant rain coming up tonight. All right, so we'll do what we did last night. Camilla's off, Peyton is in, Peyton is driving. And I meant to get my glasses, Peyton. I'm going to mess it up again. I can't see my monitor very well. So how about Siletz River first?
Yeah, let's do Siletz.
So, because the Weather Service just upped that a little bit. So on the Siletz River, yeah, it's come up, it's continued to rise, and I can't quite see it. I'm going to back out of it.
Do you want me to read it for you?
A little bit better. Yeah, no, I can see it. Okay, so about, yeah, actually you can say it too, 20
20.39, and right now we're at 19.22 feet.
So it's hanging right around flood stage, but the Weather Service upped that. Notice it goes into the moderate category, Peyton?
Mm-hmm, just barely.
Categories for flooding are minor, moderate, or major.
Yes, and basically an action stage means, hey, we're probably going to issue some kind of flood watch or flood advisory because we think that it could get to flood stage, and flood stage is anything minor or above. So a minor, moderate, and major is just kind of how you classify the severity of the flooding.
Yeah. So again, those, and that's what has happened to now. This is the forecast. This is from the Northwest River Forecast Center. I mentioned this last night. Just like modeling of anything else, it isn't perfect. The inputs are how much rain is falling over certain terrain. They use modeling of terrain. So this is the best guess. And the best guess is as the rain goes north tonight, we're already seeing that taper off on radar. Suddenly, these coastal range rivers tend to go up quickly and go down quickly. You see the big spike here. How about if we do the Trask River? Because I did look at those numbers already. And it has come down a little bit. Yeah, you see that peak, what, about 17 feet, just under?
Yep.
Just into the minor. It's dropped. This is interesting, too. So you see the observed right now. The observed is about 15 feet. The model thinks right now we'd be at 16 or 17 feet. So you can see what will happen is the model will adjust, and it's possible it never goes back up to that minor stage. So we'll see.
Yes.
Trask River technically is under flood stage right now. And then the Wilson River, that's been huge flooding in the past. Right now it is at just slightly, basically sitting right at flood stage, but it was up 3 feet higher a few hours ago. So it's not, probably will not come back up into, did I say that wrong? It probably will not come up to moderate flood stage again.
Yes, it's peaked already.
Yeah, it peaked earlier. Most likely it will not come back up again.
Should we do Nehalem?
Yeah, let's do Nehalem. I'm in a Nehalem mood. That's nice out there. Have you ever been to Manzanita?
I have.
It is pretty nice out there. There's like a little ice cream shop or two. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Nehalem River near Foss is just upstream from Nehalem Bay in the state park there.
We're glitching.
Oh, things are out of control. We're glitching. And you can see it did go, it was up to, what, 2 feet above flood stage. Now it's back down to flood stage. Does it rise slightly? The big question is there enough rain on the north coast tonight to bring any of these rivers up a foot or two? A little bit, but that's it. I mean, they're not going to suddenly rise 3 feet overnight. That's not going to happen. There's Nehalem, and then let's go to Washington. Boy, last night, well, I guess you weren't flying across the country at this point last night, Peyton, but you were thinking about flying across the country. Boy, these two rivers, the Grays River and the Naselle. So the Grays River, look at that spike. Look at it go up from, rises about 5 feet in a very short period of time. It peaked, what time was that peak? Was that midnight?
Let me see.
You can just kind of, yeah, you just, that was
yeah, midnight.
Yeah, about midnight. And then by now, you see it's way down. It's back down into minor flooding. Does it go back up? The forecast is on the right side there. Might go up a foot or two. We'll see. That's the Grays River near Rossburg. And then Naselle River. Let's do that one too. That one, boy, that one's just as, we call that flashy when they go up and down really quick.
Yeah.
And you can see big spike. It was pretty close to the record. I don't know how far back the records go.
20.6 feet was the record.
19.8 last night, same time, middle of the night. Now it's actually below flood. There's no flooding at this moment. And in fact, is that the latest forecast? Does not bring it back to flooding.
Yeah, just goes close to action, but not quite there.
Yeah. So if we get lucky, the intensity won't be too bad. And then we don't, I guess, I grew up in the Chehalis area. You see lots of flooding up there. That is a wet place. All right, so we don't need to go any farther north, I don't think, because that's out of our viewing area. But Johnson Creek, there we go. So Johnson Creek, always a flooding issue there. And you see the rise. You see a nice rise just 2 days ago. And then this afternoon, so let's see. The flood stage is at 11 feet. Latest is just like, what is that, an inch under flood stage? Forecast is for it to, there's just not enough rain in it. So we saw on the radar, you saw how it's tapering off. It's probably just going to continue dropping during the night. it's not going to go back up again because we don't have significant rain, as Peyton's going to cover in more detail in a few minutes. Oh, the Pudding River. Every time, I know we had talked about this last night, when you hear Pudding River, don't you just think of like Willy Wonka?
I think of like chocolate pudding, homemade by Grandma.
Yeah. Have you seen the Pudding River when it floods? It looks just like that.
I don't think so. I'll have to look it up.
I have a feeling that's why. Notice also the Pudding River, what a smooth curve it is. It's just like this because it's flat farmland all through the North Willamette Valley, Marion County. I think, yeah, mostly Marion County. Is it all Marion County? Yeah, pretty much all Marion County. And it goes up, very slow rise and very slow fall. I can remember many times in my career, 3 days after we have any flooding, that'll be the only river left with a flood warning. But luckily, notice it's very minor right there. So it's flooding of farmland.
All the way till about Saturday, it says in the morning maybe.
Look how long it takes for it to go down.
Another thing I really want to point out, Mark, is I'm going to, can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Okay, see these crazy high numbers here? It says flow, in parentheses,
tell us about
CFS. That means cubic feet per second. I'll go further into detail, but basically, just imagine each of these numbers is a basketball coming at you every second. And that's
a cubic foot is a basketball?
Yes. A basketball is a cubic foot.
So every second, so there are how many?
So let's just say when this peaks, it'll be, give or take, almost 8,000 basketballs coming at you every second.
That's good. Do you use that in schools when you visit?
Yeah, I do. The kids love it.
Oh, you talk about CFS in schools? Yeah. That's funny. Okay, all right.
Okay, Clackamas River near Estacada.
Clackamas River has not had a flood warning for good reason, because it's staying even below the action stage. I don't know if they're probably holding some water back since it's not that big of a flood event. But it's forecast to go up maybe a little bit. We'll see if it actually does, and then come back down. So no issues on the Clackamas River.
Good news.
It's not a big deal.
Oh, we got an all snap. Hold on.
We're reloading, folks.
Loading.
We have very fast internet here, gig service here at KPTV. Tualatin River. Now, notice the Tualatin River, yeah, it's going up somewhat rapidly, but also notice it has that smooth curve. There's a different reason for this smooth curve. This is the Tualatin River at Farmington to the downstream from Hillsborough. Henry Haig Lake, so they can regulate this flow quite a bit. So it'll come up close to a flood stage, and it'll just stay under flood stage there. Sandy River, it was not forecast. There's no flood warning there either, just like the Tualatin. Looks like it, see, it peaked at 17. Models were thinking that it would go up to 18. Instead, it dropped slightly. A little less water maybe than expected. So that's what's happened. That's what's going to happen. Supposedly, it seems unlikely that will actually happen. I thought I checked the Sandy River higher up by, was it Brightwood? And it was already dropping. We'll see. Either way, no big flooding on the Sandy River. Yeah, there's a lot of water, but no big flooding. And we covered this last night. Actually, we can stay on this for a second because this is why there's no flooding on the Willamette River, because about 30% or so of it, I believe it, or is it 70%, is controlled by, these reservoirs fill with water, and they're kept very low in the winter just for this reason. It's interesting, though, if you just touch, Peyton, see at Detroit, the dam, if you actually touch the little dam there at Detroit, yeah, so up middle right.
Middle right.
Yeah, you're almost there. Yeah, you touched just below. Yeah. See the in and the out? Oh, wait, it changed.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, never mind. Earlier, it had like what was coming in was like 10 times what was being let out, so they allow it to fill.
It's about the same right now.
Yeah, so that's it there. There we go.
I do want to mention real quick, Mark, we are live streaming on Facebook if you are on our app or our streaming app. And we're getting some great comments. We're going to address these toward the end of the show, so keep them coming. A lot of them are asking what's coming up, so
we're getting there.
We'll get there.
First, I don't mean to belabor this point. I complain about the lack of snow in the Cascades. It's not just about me for skiing or snowboarding. It probably saves legs, right? But we don't see any sign of the beginning of the ski season. 47 degrees up at Ski Bowl right now. It's raining. Look at this ridiculously high snow level. This is what we would expect in October. At or above Timberline Lodge most of the time, actually all the time, until we maybe next Tuesday is the next chance for sticking snow in the Cascades. That's amazing for the 13th, 14th, 15th of December. And this also tells me, I think I have my information correct, Mount Bachelor has never opened beyond the 14th of December. Looks like that's going to happen this year. There's no way Mount Bachelor is going to open before sometime next week at the earliest. So this could be the latest opening ever at Mount Bachelor. So 7-day forecast. Yeah, it's nice to live down here in the lowlands with these warm temps. We are calling tomorrow first alert weather day out at the coastline. You know what? I think I just jumped ahead accidentally.
It's okay.
I'm going to let Peyton cover tonight and tomorrow. I got all excited about the 7-day.
Just a tease. It's all right.
So Peyton, you go, and then I'm going to talk about the 7-day and what we might see maybe just beyond the end of the 7-day.
Yeah, if you got weekend plans, definitely want to stay tuned for that. Well, yeah, let's talk about tomorrow. First, love all your guys' videos and photos. We really appreciate them. This is from Ron Olson in Vancouver, walking along that bridge above Salmon Creek. Obviously, creek probably shouldn't look like that. So whenever you see a creek that's pretty elevated, we sometimes say swollen, and then muddy, you see some debris sometimes rolling down it. That's how you know we got a pretty good amount of rainfall that's kind of gone through the last little bit. I really want to address this quickly. This is from April Nicole. She asked, can we access that flood map from home? You sure can. It is on our Fox 12 website. Basically, just find the weather tab and it's there. Okay, so here's our great news. Tomorrow, yes, we are in the green light. Not umbrella worthy, just a few light showers. That's going to be a big change from what we've been experiencing. What's ahead? This is kind of just a summary and headlines. So we have less than ½ inch of additional rainfall in the metro and valleys tonight and tomorrow. Additional flooding, not going to be a thing overnight. First alert weather day is only active for the coast tomorrow. Everywhere else, we have dropped the first alert weather day. And then, yeah, mud, landslides still possible, but that's probably mainly just for the mountains. So we've been talking about this phrase, atmospheric river at Pineapple Express. Same thing, they're used interchangeably. That has been the cause of all this moisture, but this thing is going to start to move north Wednesday, and this is why our forecast has adjusted a little bit, because this is a very narrow band of water, and if it starts to scoot north or south, all of a sudden we're not going to see as much rain as we have the last couple of days. So that means the center of this atmospheric river's attention is going to Washington, and we're going to dry out locally. So this is just what the next 12 hours looks like. Tonight, it's still going to be wet. We're not going to be fully dry, but I do think as you wake up on your Wednesday, you're going to notice a significant change. Just some lighter showers, most of them west of I-5, and that southerly breeze will probably make things just a little gusty at times. Forecast rainfall, here we go. This is all the way through Thursday morning. It's nice not to see the big reds over the Cascades anymore, at least in Oregon. But yeah, you can see just less than ¼ inch up and down I-5, maybe a little more in the coast range. Coast probably around ½ inch. And all the reds and yellows and scary colors are up north in Washington, again, correlating with the position of the atmospheric river. Okay, so tonight, 50s, nice and warm, rainy north, drying south, cloudy and mild if you're in eastern Oregon. Tomorrow, hour by hour, there you go. It's really just going to be a mild day. We're going to stay cloudy, but I think we're going to have plenty of dry breaks. A little shower, sprinkle can't be ruled out pretty much any time of the day, but I think the evening may be just a little showery. So here's what that looks like here, just kind of zooming through the day because it's hard to pinpoint exactly where these showers will be. Looks like most of them rain themselves out, though, along the coast range. This is now 11 p.m. tomorrow. Again, most of that rain staying up north. Okay, Wednesday, zone by zone. Here is that first alert weather day. So you're going to see the coast is lit up red because, again, that's where we're still going to issue the first alert weather day for tomorrow. We kept it at the coast because those rivers are going to take their time coming down rather than those rapid changes that we're going to probably see, or we have already seen, in the valleys and metro. So know that, yes, the coast is doing better, but we just want to give you that first alert that, you know, there is some problem areas still. So we're not expecting a dumping rain, though, like we've had. Valleys is mainly dry and warm. We got light showers mainly to the north. If you're in the central valleys, it's actually going to be a mainly dry day tomorrow. Low 60s, upper 50s. Real warm thanks to that southerly wind, which we'll get to in a minute. Showery at times for the gorge, dry mainly to the east, and a west wind. Here's Mount Hood forecast. Yep, check out that snow level, bottom left corner, 9,000 feet. Wah, wah. Mark's tearing up over there, actually. It's really sad. If you're a skier, you're really sad to see that. Bare roads through the weekend. And then Wednesday for eastern Oregon, warm and partly cloudy. Real warm, actually, in some areas. Pendleton nearing the mid-60s. Okay, let's talk about the wind. So actually in just the last hour or two, we started to see that southerly wind transition. And basically some of these gusts could easily get to 25, 30 miles per hour just the next couple hours. This is 1 p.m. tomorrow. I think the coast will probably see some gusts, maybe near 35 miles per hour at that point, maybe 25, 30 miles per hour in the valleys. Portland forecast just gives you another look at the same thing I just showed you in more of a graph so you can see We're staying around 25 to 30 miles per hour in Portland through Wednesday. This is not going to linger into Thursday. It's just kind of a one-day breezy event. Astoria, a little stronger, again, because the southerly gusts will be stronger at the coast. Now, you're probably wondering, should I be concerned about these wind gusts? I'm not seeing any wind alerts really, and you know, there always is a minor concern because it has been so rainy and the ground is super soft and saturated, and basically it won't take much for a gust to come through and we blow down a tree. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw just a few power outages tomorrow or maybe even tonight, but it's not a major concern. We're not talking widespread issues here. Over and west of the Cascades, First Alert Weather Day will end this evening, as we mentioned earlier. And then this is kind of just a summary of what I've said. Less than a ½ inch of additional rain in the lowlands, little windy, warm again, and then watch for those isolated flooding spots, mudslides, power outages. Again, just those very specific areas. Okay, I want to go over Thursday. We put light showers, I think, Mark, just because it just looks maybe a few little light sprinkles coming through, but Friday, mostly dry and mainly cloudy. So really not much going on over the next 3 days beyond what's going to happen tonight. And our lows are real warm, especially those highs. I mean, I was looking and we aren't going to be quite record breaking, but we are within about 5 degrees most days this week of the daily record. So it's unusually warm. I keep checking the date. I'm like, are you sure? It's almost mid-December at this point. Pretty crazy. Okay, I'm going to turn it back to Mark, and then we'll see if we can answer some of these questions.
I've got the records right here, old style. My kids laughing at me,
look at you in the paper and everything.
So today's the 9th, right? It is the 9th.
Yeah.
Right. The record high is 60. So if we hit 60 by midnight, that would tie a record high. Right now in Portland, it's 49. But you see the 50s are coming
got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it could happen. Well, but it can happen pretty quickly once that south wind punches through.
Right.
Don't lose faith, Peyton. And then tomorrow's record high is 65. In 93, I think we had a windstorm with that. Usually our record highs in December are with these Pineapple Expresses or with a windstorm. So the big 95 windstorm, it's been 30 years. Yeah, sure enough, the record for the 12th is 63 degrees. Yeah. And record warm lows, if we'd have to stay above 47. I don't know if we got below 47 during the daytime today. We may tie a record warm low. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so let's do the 7-day forecast then. So you've covered the next 3 days. We're back on track now. All right, so the next 3 days, dry but gray Friday. Really gray, I noticed there. You can see that on our evening model there that Peyton just showed. Saturday's still pretty gray. I mean, maybe we get some sun breaks. I think Saturday is totally uneventful again, 53, just because with no wind from the east or west or south, it allows the temperature to fall off a little bit. Sunday, there's a very weak system that tries to come through Sunday morning, maybe a few showers. Big picture this weekend, I know a lot of people like out shopping, taking care of pre-Christmas things, or going to parties. Parties for hosting. What's the other part? Parties for hosting, marshmallows.
Oh, marshmallows for roasting.
Yeah, or toasting.
Oh gosh, I was
something like that.
worried about that one.
But the point is that we just have a lot of gray skies, I think, coming up this weekend, but any showers most likely on Sunday. Remember, if you have a question, I think, Peyton, you said we're going to have a few coming up on Facebook, so we'll see if we got a few of those coming up. Okay, so then Monday looks rainy again. Tuesday, showers. I got to tell you, most of our models are showing the pattern staying turning wetter actually again towards the middle or latter part of next week. That would be, you know, that week before Christmas. So if we go all the way through the 19th, which is, I believe, Friday, that's the time the kids get out of school and they're on their holiday or Christmas break, we don't see any lowland snow, of course. Very mild, nothing below 3,000 feet. Any Arctic air is going over into the central part of the country. Could there be a windstorm? We'll call it unlikely, just what we're seeing, you know, yesterday and today, the breezy south wind. We don't see any windstorm for next week, but we'll be watching. Widespread flooding, I got a yes, because it's happening right now. We're watching for late next week. Could we get into an atmospheric river late next week? That's a possibility right now. We're no model saying, oh my gosh, we have a flooding situation again, but we are watching that. So, Peyton, are we going to take a look at a few of those?
Yeah, I got a couple questions.
Oh, you do? Oh, you're ready to go? Oh, you have it on your phone. I'm so old style. I'm like, how come she's not going over to the computer?
You probably think, you're like, why is she on her phone? She's so distracted.
You could just look on your phone. Imagine that.
It's all right. At least my volume isn't playing, or there'd be 2 of us, or 4 of us, I guess.
Yeah,
that'd be a little weird.
That's not cool. Yeah.
Okay, so Shane said, are slides, I'm assuming mudslides, landslides, expected between Troutdale and Hood River along 84?
Here's the deal. ODOT has those. They put those flashing lights up at Troutdale and at the other end coming back through the gorge. Anytime we have this much rain, it's always a possibility. And it's interesting because that possibility continues for many days after it stops raining because rain is working, water is working its way through the soil. So yes, it's always a possibility, but nobody would say, oh, there's going to be a slide at Dodson tonight.
Right.
You know what I mean? In these patterns, sometimes we get teeny tiny slides. Every once in a while, I remember in 2015, where we had a lot more rain over many days, we had that huge slide. I remember the lady passed away, got caught in a slide there right at the Dodson exit.
Yeah.
Ainsworth, yeah. So always a possibility, Shane, but there's nothing that says, oh my gosh, it's going to slide tonight. No.
We also can't say it's going to slide this exact area. I wish we could. No. That would help a lot.
We just know historically, steep slopes, below steep slopes, and in the wet areas.
Yeah. Just be careful, obviously. Everybody should be careful traveling in the next couple days. All right, let's see. A lot of questions about when will it get cold? Rightfully so. We don't know. But I will add, our daytime models today, we can see, we do get pretty decent modeling out about 2 weeks. Some of them indicated a colder pattern for Christmas week itself. I saw that.
They've also shown that, remember, that was first going to happen at the end of Thanksgiving weekend, remember? Oh, yeah. One of our models at GFS, it likes to go cold a lot, and it was going cold for Thanksgiving weekend. Then it was going to be, I thought at the end of this episode, oh yeah, that's right, because I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to be skiing the weekend of the 13th, 14th. Yeah. Yeah, that's not happening. So they keep pushing it off. I'll believe it when I see it, seriously. Yeah. So as of now, no, nothing says we're heading into a colder pattern, but the next chance for that possibly happening is the weekend before Christmas, or actually the Christmas week. That's the next chance for that, even a possibility. Which I know you probably are frustrated hearing that, especially if you've joined us since Thanksgiving. We said maybe next weekend, maybe next weekend. But it's truly just how it's been. That's why I also say I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. We've been in a very warm pattern all through the late fall and early winter. Yes. Okay, let's, are we ever going to get cold? I understand, yes, it's frustrating. No, we don't know yet. We don't know. Okay, someone said Aurora backyard rain gauge had 3.1 inches since Monday, raining steady now. So yeah, that could be, yeah. Great report. Again, if you have photos, videos, send them to us on our Fox 12 weather app. I don't see anything else that's sticking out right now, but we really appreciate you guys joining us. And again, we like this Facebook Live thing. Hopefully we can do it a little more and get your questions in here. So our next show is in 1.5 hours. We'll have all the latest updates. Well, we'll see who's out there walking the streets there. Reporters, I should say. I didn't say that quite right. But the point is, we've got another show. The 8 o'clock news is coming up on our streaming app, Fox 12 streaming app. And then Peyton will be back. You'll be doing weather during the 8 and 9 o'clock shows, and I will be back at 10 o'clock. Yeah. On our streaming app, but old style, regular TV too. You can just turn that on, we'll be there. But thanks for joining us for our First Alert Weather Extra. Thank you, Peyton, for joining us as well. Try to stay awake through this evening. We will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. on First Alert Weather Extra.